Let's talk about how I made $5,800 in a little under 5 hours trading options in the stock market. I'm going to show you exactly how I found this trade, how I managed this trade, and I'm even going to show you a live replay where I locked in that profit alongside the team over in my mentorship. So let's go ahead, let's hop in. And what I want to start by is showing you the actual net P&L, $5,844. Okay, the ROI on this trade was 37.45%. So my position size was $15,500 to make about $6 grand. And you can see here my entry time at 10:57 and my exit time at 15:56. So I entered this about an hour and a half off of the open, closed this trade about 4 minutes before market close. But in the first place, how did I actually know what stock to trade, what direction to bet on it going, and how to actually manage that trade, where to get out for a win or a loss? And that's what I want to dive into right now. Now let's go ahead and pull up my software. This is what I call my edge in the market. I've spent the last 5 years developing this trading software. And what the software does is it gives me the exact stock to trade and the exact direction to buy. So in this case, what happened was at 10:56 on the 7th, I was alerted via my software to buy these APP calls expiring January 10th, 2025. Now, these were 3 days out to expiration when this order did come through. And at the time this order came through on my software, the current price APP was trading at was $321.12. Now, what I then did was I went ahead and I pulled up APP. Now, I use this algorithm called the day trading strategy to actually figure out next how I'm gonna go about managing that trade, where I'm gonna set my stop loss and where I'm gonna set my take profit. So I know exactly where to get out. And this is gonna be one of the biggest variables when it comes to your trading is how are you going about managing those trades? Where are you cutting your losers? How far are you letting your winners run? And what is that balance between how big your winners are and hopefully how small your losers are? And so here you could see the day trading strategy. All I had to do was plug in a couple input, the position type, entry month, day, year, hour, entry minute, and entry price. And what you can see now are these two lines, this green line and this red line. Now this red line is going to represent my stop loss and this green line is going to represent my take profit. And you can obviously see the long at 321.12. That is at which point the order came through on my software. And I just want to show you this for transparency purposes real quick inside my broker. Now I use Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim, their trading platform. It's a regulated US broker. You can see connected real-time data, the date and the time obviously is moving here just so you can see this is a live account. And then in my account statement section under obviously searching by ticker symbol APP, my order on the 7th at 10:57, and you could see here my buy for 15 contracts and my fill price at 10:55. And then we'll talk about this later, but obviously you could see my exit as well. I did have to send in a second order. The first order I had to cancel. It did not get filled. My second order did get filled for those 15 contracts at 14:30. Just want to show you that real quick. Now, once I've gone ahead and I've entered that input criteria from the software directly into the algorithm, I can see how I'm going to go about managing this trade. And I could see, well, my stop loss was sitting here at 308.78, which at the point I entered was roughly 4% below where we're currently trading. And the take profit was about 8% above where we are currently trading. Now, even though those levels seem aggressive, and what you'll notice is that throughout the day, we were not able to hit either level, which is gonna happen about 5% of the time. And when that happens, that 5% of the time when neither my stop loss or take profit is hit, what I do is I have a default set to close that order at 3:55. So you can obviously see my order closing at 3:56. Well, I'm gonna get out of that position at 3:55. I've got an alarm set. I'll log into my broker. Obviously, throughout the day, if an alert was not triggered letting me know that my stop or take profit was hit, I'm gonna close that trade. So the way I'm going about day trading is essentially I get the order through on my software. I go ahead, I enter the criteria in the algorithm, and then I set an alert at my stop and at my take profit. It's literally 5 to 10 minutes all in all to actually do that. When I enter, what I do is I go ahead and I post here my order fill at 10.55 a contract, which obviously matches my order fill on my broker. My stop loss at 308.37. You can see here 308.37. My take profit at 346.61. And you can see here 346.61. So every time I enter a trade, I give my team the exact contract that I'm buying, what fill price I got, where my stop is, and where my take profit is. And then my students have the ability to essentially follow along and copy myself. It doesn't take them any more than 5 minutes a day to enter the trade when I send it to them and to exit the trade when I let them know that I've gotten out of that position. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm legally not allowed to actually tell you guys what to buy and sell. All I'm doing is sharing with you exactly what I'm doing. And then it's totally up to you, fully on your own self, if you decide to follow me. But I'm just showing you with full transparency what I am doing in the market. So we went ahead, we entered that position, and you can see the running P&L right here. Essentially, we entered, we were up about $2,600, or I was up about $2,600 right away, as my position size was again about $15,500. And then I was up about 4K. So at this point, that was when we saw this rally, and APP did move up about 2.5%, which is pretty substantial. And then you could see how we started pulling back, and we actually did slightly dip below our entry level at that 321. And you could see here in the equity curve how we did dip below, and at the lowest point of the day, we were down $2,661. Now let's talk about when I entered this trade, what was my risk to reward? So if I did end up obviously hitting that stop loss, how much would have I lost? And if that take profit was hit, how much would I have made? Now, I did send this out in the position updates to the team, and you can see here behind this trade, there was a 1 to 3 R presented, which meant that I was risking one part to make 3. And in this case, that one part was $9,000 in order to make $27,000. So I had $9,000 at risk in order to make that 27K. Again, sitting about 6.5% off of that TP, about 5% off of that stop loss. Now, what actually happened in real time was not that. We obviously saw that APP did not move enough to either hit my stop or take profit, but we did continue trading back up off of that little dip and forming higher highs throughout the day into the close. Now you can see here the lowest point, and then we essentially saw 1, 2, 3, 4 peaks, where each peak essentially resulted in a bit higher of an overall P&L. And what I really like about this trade is that even though neither my stop or take profit were hit, well, we did still maximize the amount of gains we could have made on this trade, because we closed at the peak of the day, at the point at which these contracts were worth the most between when we entered to market close. You can see right there, 5,865, and then obviously my executions there. So that is what I really do like to see, that we are squeezing and maximizing the most profit we can out of each trade. But what I like to look at is what was the actual real-time running risk to reward throughout the duration of the trade. Where was our lowest point at which we were down the most and our highest point at which we were up the most? So if we take 5,865 and we divide that by 2,661, we are left with 2.2, which means that our risk to reward was a 1 to 2.2. Our lowest point of risk, that one, was 2,661, and our highest point was 2.2 times that lowest point, where we ended up actually locking in that profit. So phenomenal trade. Really, really loved how this played out. And then I went ahead and I posted that exit right here. We locked in profit. I got filled at 14.30 for an ROI of 37.45%. Sent that out to the mentorship so everyone could lock in profit with myself. And upon doing so, I went ahead and posted my profit, and then you can see member profits coming in. Bo Bowen making $270. Another one of our members making $427. Another one of our members made $1,844 profit on that one call out. Another one of our members, 440, and the profits go on. That is how simple this is. If you guys want to join, I'll put a link in the description below, and you can trade with me every single morning. You'll have access to all my trades. I'll send you my entries and my exits. And with that said, let's just replay this live clip of me locking in profit with the team. You guys should be able to see my screen. Currently up 6.1K on ticker symbol APP. SL and TP were pretty far away, so we we are gonna close this out manually right into the close without actually hitting our stop or our take profit. What I do is by default, I set an alert. So 3:55, 5 minutes before the close, I will lock in profit if neither my stop loss or take profit has been hit. So that's standard to make sure that I'm locking in that profit and I'm actually securing those gains before the market does close, as none of these positions are intended to be swing trades. These are all intended to be day trades, which means I'm getting in and getting out within the same day. Let's send in a limit order here and let's see what this looks like. I might have to send in a couple orders to actually get this filled. This might be a bit of a tough fill, a couple minutes into the close here. So I'm gonna have to adjust this a bit. See if we can get 1430. All right, 5.8K. I can't complain. That was the trade locked in. We're totally out. Very happy with that. Congratulations to you guys if you got in on that call out. Great way to start the year. Hell yeah.